I believe that everyone needs to take charge of their health, you know, and not give that power away. And I want everyone that I talk with, whether they talk to me or, you know, on other podcasts I do or whatever, I was like, you know, ask your questions, challenge us, because we're human beings just like you. Challenge us, develop that relationship, because that's how you're gonna get the results. Not saying, okay, well, the doctor said I have headaches and nothing else you can do. Let's take these pills. That's gonna be my life for the rest of my life. You know, you don't need to accept that. But again, that's the message that we're receiving in medicine. And I think there's many reasons why I feel that we're receiving that. And I think that's the way the system's designed, in my opinion, and hence the reason why I practice the way I do and not in conventional medicine anymore.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I got a real treat for you. Steven Martinez in the house. What's up, Steven?
What's going on, Brad? Thanks for having me, man.
And folks, the reason this dude's a treat is because he focuses on wellness.
That's right.
Matter of fact, Restore Wellness, co-founder of Groove Wellness, certified physician's assistant, and overall entrepreneur extraordinaire.
Yeah. Try to be.
Yeah. So, and you have a book called Age versus
Energy. That's one of the philosophies that I live by and practice by, that I truly believe that no matter what age you are, you can get back the strength, energy, and vitality that you want in life. You just got to know where to go and what to do.
Now, see, this guy's crazy. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll think this dude's like freaking young. This dude's 72 years old.
Almost 73. So
almost 73. So whatever he's doing is working like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, just turned 41. So I'm good.
So I'm going to wait and see you when you're 70. Because if you look old and crusty like the rest of us, then I'm going to have to say, bro, how come all your fancy stuff ain't working?
Cut this episode. Yeah, then we'll be good. So, yeah.
But you travel around, integrative medicine practitioner. What does that mean?
So really, integrative functional medicine. In medicine, in the medical world, there's like two schools of medical therapy you can receive. One is conventional, and the other is functional or integrative. And I practice functional medicine. So the difference is getting down to the root cause.
What was the first one?
Conventional. Like you go to a clinic, you know, urgent care, your doctor, because I believe.
No, but I don't like conventional medicine.
It's not.
I don't trust conventional medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, hence the reason why I practice the way I practice. Because I used to work like that. I'm a certified physician assistant. Graduated from a great school, University of Washington. But it was the philosophy of medicine, especially in Western medicine, that I disagree with. And everybody to each their own. But I disagree with that philosophy of medicine because I feel that what we are doing is we're treating a lot of symptoms, but we're not treating the systems. Because if somebody has a problem or a situation they're looking to overcome,
pull that closer.
If someone's looking to have a situation or a symptom to overcome a problem, I believe that we need to ask the question, why? What's causing it? Because we can have blood pressure issues, insomnia, depression, fatigue, joint pain, or even cancer. And if we don't ask that question, why and what's causing it in the first place, then again, I think we're just covering symptoms, but we're not really doing much because we're leaving the system, unattended to. And that's the difference between conventional and functional. So functional medicine, we're getting down to the root cause. We're asking that question, why? It's like, hey, what's going on here? Yeah, we understand that you want to overcome this situation or issue, but what about the life you want to live on the other side of that? And how can we work together as a team to get you to that next level in a customized way? No cookie cutter way or one size fits all, but a customized way. And that's where the magic's made.
So how did you get into this?
Well, I kind of lived that way all my life. Growing up in Washington State, my mom and dad, we kind of had that philosophy of, food can be your medicine, and food needs to be your medicine, but it could also be your poison in many ways too. So
which food do you take if you have a headache and you want it to go away?
It depends what's causing the headache, right? So really when we talk about headaches, we talk about the mineral balance and transfers within your cells. And so I think that if we're hydrating properly, if we're getting the right amount of sleep and stress management, there's a lot of different factors out there, because if we have a headache, again, I can have 10 people lined up in front of me. They all have a migraine or a headache, but for different reasons. And so if we're able to learn that reason for that individual, that's where we focus on. So it could be hydration, it could be stress, it could be low testosterone, it could be lack of magnesium, a lot of different things, but we got to figure out what's causing it. And once we do, that's where we focus.
And how do you do it?
Through conversation. I think that a lot of times in medicine, we're so rushed. Did you know that the average visit time and within a conventional medical practice is about 7 minutes? How much information and what kind of relationship can we build for someone with 7 minutes? So I think that if we're able to build that relationship, ask the questions, learn about their history, what you've tried, what you haven't tried, what worked, what hasn't worked, how long you've been going through this, then we can achieve a lot. But in order to do that, we need to have time. And that's where functional medicine is different. We actually allow a lot of time to learn about each individual story. So we do that, getting a good, history, but also certain types of lab evaluations, the depth, not just scratching the surface, but really getting the depth we need to understand how the body is functioning. And then that's, how we can really understand what's going on.
So do you practice what you preach? In other words, are you on peptides and all the latest and greatest?
Absolutely.
What's the latest and greatest?
Latest and greatest?
Yeah, I have a lot of entrepreneurs follow me. Tells me that they're probably burning candles at both ends. Like, what's a good hack or tip for entrepreneurs, busy people to get more sleep or, focus on something that's going to really make an impact? Right.
So I think we need to start the foundations, kind of what we put in is what we get out. So really we got to look at the diet, because there's peptides. You mentioned peptides. I love peptides. I'm a peptide specialist. That's what I'm certified in. And what peptides are is they're small strains of amino acids that help encourage your cells to perform a natural function. So we have these peptides already in your body. It just kind of depends on what we're looking to achieve. Hey, I want to improve on my hair, my skin, my nails, my mood, my memory, my libido, my joints, my sleep, my weight, build muscle or whatever. There's a peptide for that already in your body. So we got to figure out your goals.
Is there a peptide store?
Peptide store, yes, many peptide stores. And a lot of times peptides do come from compound pharmacies or companies like myself. We have a company called Empire Sciences that we actually specialize in peptide therapy, bioregulator therapy, which is more of a focused peptide. For example, these are peptides extracted from bovine sources. And have you heard of like desiccated?
Bovine is a cow, folks,
cows,
just in case you didn't know.
Yes. So we're able to extract
bovine.
Yeah. So we're able to extract these amino acids, these proteins, and consolidate them into just amazing types of therapies to help system-focused issues, like for your kidneys and your liver and your heart and your testes and ovaries and brain, things like that. If we want to focus on those areas to help regenerate them and improve the cellular communication, that's where peptides, hormones, and also bioregulators come in.
And you got them all?
Got them all.
So if somebody's listening, they're like, I want peptides. They can come to you.
Absolutely.
And by the way, folks, this ain't a commercial, but you can go get them at Restore GV. What's GV stand for?
So Restore RGV is so Rio Grande.
RGV.
Yeah, Rio Grande Valley. So that's where I'm from. I'm originally from Washington State, Yakima, Washington. But I've been living in the Rio Grande Valley since 2014, and I have my practice there in the valley. So.
How'd you end up there?
Challenge. I wanted a challenge after I graduated school. So I said to myself, I'm going to try to go to one of the most difficult places in the country to work. And I find myself in South Texas, McAllen, Texas.
So, and ultimately, where do you find your patients and your people? Like on shows like this, or like how do you?
Yeah.
How are you marketing to people?
Yeah, kind of all around the country. So I see people from around the country, but it's mostly people that want to take their life to the next level. They're tired of just surviving in life. Hey, I'm tired of, going through the same types of therapies and the routines, getting the same answers. Because a lot of times people, when they come to me, they say, I'm not getting any help. No one's listening to my story. They're telling me everything's normal. The labs are within a range. They're like, I don't feel normal. In fact, I feel horrible a lot of times. So again, we can't treat numbers. This is my opinion. We can't treat numbers on a piece of paper. We have to treat the person because numbers are just numbers.
Is that what we're doing?
No, we're not doing that.
No, you were treating numbers?
I was previously, yes. Before I crossed over to functional medicine, that's what I was instructed to do because that's the way our medical system's designed. Hey, are these numbers on a piece of paper normal? If the question is yes, then the individual must be normal. Everything must be okay. Forget about their situation and their pain and their anxiety and things they're going through. If these numbers tell me you're normal, that means you are normal. And I disagree with that philosophy because everyone's different. If we're treating numbers and we're forgetting about the person, then I feel we're not really doing much in medicine. And I got tired of that. I said, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, but the numbers would kind of be an indication.
Exactly. I believe numbers should guide, but never decide what kind of therapy you deserve as an individual. So those things, we got to correlate with your story. And in order to learn your story, we need time. And so I was like, well, what can I really learn in 5 or 7 minutes meeting with an individual? I can't learn not much. I could learn, hey, what pill you might need, because there's a pill for every ill. But I can't really engage to learn what's causing your complications in the first place. And I just got fed up.
Could be just like old age.
Old age. But why do we experience things later in life than earlier in life? Because the cellular health, communication, and efficiency goes down. The question is, well, why does it go down? Well, many different factors.
And when does it start?
I say nowadays, we are living longer as a society. There's no doubt about that. You can look at the data. but I believe we're aging quicker. Why do I say that? Because I see things in 30 and 40-year-olds that I used to see in like 50, 60, and 70-year-olds. And things like anxiety and depression, erectile dysfunction, low libido, premenopause type symptoms and situations. So these are happening younger and younger individuals.
What do you think is causing it?
I think a lot of things are causing it. I think a lot of things, the toxins that we're eating, that we're breathing, that we're drinking, the stress, you know, a lot of different things, because these things that we're exposing ourselves to are called endocrine disruptors. And when we talk about endocrine disruptors, it affects our endocrine system, the endocrinology system within our body. So hormones and things like that. So when these hormones, these communication molecules aren't, you know, functioning to those optimal levels, maybe normal, but not optimal, then we're going to start breaking down as individuals, as human beings. And I think that's what's happening at a large scale. So
you probably, when the old COVID was running around, you probably didn't opt in for the old JAB.
Nope, absolutely not. I stood far away from that.
What if they said you can't go anywhere or do anything?
Then I'll stick my butt home. I didn't care.
So I told my friend the other day, he said, man, but my mom, you know, she lived in Canada and I kind of had to see her. I said, dude, I don't care. I would have said, Mom, they're not letting me come over there.
Yeah. I love you, Mom. Yeah, I just can't. I can't.
They're not letting me come, Mom.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go get that for nothing.
Yeah. Talk about a frustrating situation. And a lot of people, you know, we're in that same situation. I see them every day. A lot of times those are my friends and family. I get it, understand that. And I think we all have the free will to make those choices. And that's the beautiful thing about, you know, being in America. But like at the same time, no, thank you. Not even close. I'm not an experiment. I'm not going to subject to people who talk to me and confide in me for advice. It's like, you know, I asked them a question and asked them that question as well. It's like, you know, when has the government ever cared this much about your health? You know, never. But yet they're so invested in you getting this experimental, in my opinion, vaccine. Then that's where enough was enough when I came to my clinic and how I treated and how I practiced the individuals I saw. So
what are some of the things that are like, if I wanted to be young, if I wanted to stay young forever, what peptide should I be messing with?
We got to look at different things. I think inflammation has a lot to do with this. So I think a lot of times inflammation, when we encounter it, that is the root cause of everything that we experience in society. Aging is inflammation, because aging is cell death, or when the cellular efficiency is going down. So actually aging can actually be seen as a disease, because you're dis-ease with where? Within your cells. And that's what we want to focus on.
Well, you can't live forever.
No, you can't. No, but you can live well. I mean, you can live the last 30, 40 years of life and not be struggling.
But you can do that naturally without anything.
True. Well, I mean, I think to a certain point, but there are certain times in our physiology, you know, because we have two different ages we're working with: chronological age and biological age. So chronological age is like, you know, how old are you? When you're born, your birth date. But biological age is actually the condition and strength and vitality of your cells. So you can be a 55-year-old, but really be older, like at 62, because that's what your cells tell you to.
Or younger.
So it depends on what
I
you're
had one of
looking to
those.
achieve.
You guess how old I am?
How old are you?
Cellularly.
43.
34.
34.
But that was a long time ago. Then I ate donuts and got fat. Now I'm back on the getting in shape routine, but I haven't checked in a long time. But a long time ago, I was like, I think I was 48 or something.
Yeah.
And it said I was 34.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. The doctor, that guy's like, you, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by living longer and stronger.
But he still showed me things I could do to, you know, even reverse it more.
Absolutely.
This guy believed that you literally could look like you do forever. And I'm like, I don't know, man, because again, like even in the last 2 years, I think I look older than I did 2 years ago. And it seems to accelerate at times.
It does.
Like I look in the mirror, I'm like, son of a bitch. Like I didn't see all those before. And they were just like, there. Then you go in there, you're like, hey, can you Botox these out? Pretty soon you walk around like this, and it's like, you can't look like that either.
No, I think
eventually you just have to gracefully grow old.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
that.
And not only that, think about this, because most people don't think about this mindset-wise. I used to look at old people and be like, damn, I never want to be like that. And I was stupid because, dude, you do want to be like that.
Yeah.
Imagine being 94 years old. You think you're going to look like you do? No, you're probably going to have a little more wear and tear on you.
Yeah.
And when you do, you'll see these little young whippersnappers running around going, dang, I don't want to be that old. When in reality, yes, you do.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Well, you hope it happens.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna happen. It might happen.
It might happen.
That's the scary part. When you really think about it, like next time you see an old man, you think that dude's lucky. Why? Because he made it. Because you're looking at him.
Absolutely.
If you see a 92-year-old dude, that dude's lucky. And you're looking right at pure luck. And by the way, think about that. It is pure luck that we're still alive.
Absolutely.
Pure luck.
In many ways. In many ways.
Dude, you could have got your eye poked out. You could have gotten a car crash. There's so many things that could have happened to you growing up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it happens every day to a lot of people around the world.
Tons of people.
Yeah.
Devastating things,
Yep.
you know.
I concur.
But anyway, that's why I always basically root myself in gratitude, and everything from there is wonderful.
Yeah. No, you have to be thankful for. I mean, like I'm thankful for where I came from. You know, I'm the first one in medicine in my family. You know, came from a migrant background. You know, from my parents and my upbringing. And I think that, you know, like I said, a lot of things could have happened to me, like, and to you, and
for
like,
sure,
like you said.
especially in McAllen, Texas.
Especially in McAllen, Texas, a lot of action going on down there. So no, I agree, and I think that that's the how we live life. You want to live life in fear, or you want to live in faith in many ways. And I think that if you make that decision, you got to go with it, and when your back's up against the wall, well, guess what? You'll learn how you punch. And I think that's what we need to do as individuals, as adults, especially as men in many ways, in my opinion, that we need to get back to being men again in many ways and take charge of the things we should be taking charge of.
You say in many ways. How about in every way?
And yeah, well, I concur with that.
I don't think we ever should have stopped.
Nope.
But let me ask you.
Sure.
If someone wants to stay young forever,
right?
What peptide would you say?
Peptides. So I think that a lot of times you can talk about peptides like thymosin alpha-1. We can talk about epithalon. We can talk about CJC 1295. We can talk about BPC. Now these are.
Why do we got to talk about them? Let's just take them.
Yeah, give me a call.
But is that it? All you got to do is take those?
Well, it's part of the routine. I think that, you know, like I said, that's going to be, you know, a lot of times, you know, a foundational start for somebody to
I know, but like a guy like me, I walk into your practice. I don't want a bunch of yik yak, chick jack. I just want you to say, dude, take this shit. You're going to look freaking 30 in 6 weeks.
Right. I would ask you one question. What are your goals? Why are you here?
To look as young as I can for as long as I can.
Okay, done. Then I know what to do.
Good. That's what I'm looking for. What's
easy.
that? What's that answer? What should I do?
So really, it would be the anti-inflammatory peptides, in my opinion, the ones I listed, because these are going to help you achieve cellular efficiency. Again, when our cells are happy and healthy, then we are happy and healthy. And when our cells are sick, then we have significant room for improvement. And when our cells are actually functioning and communicating, and we have that coherence within our body, then that's like having a vehicle. I don't care if you have a '69 Camaro. If you have a new engine, new tires and everything, you can go anywhere you want in the country. And that's kind of the mindset we have in medicine, and how I practice. It's like, hey, I'm not looking to get you just surviving in life. I'm looking to get you thriving in many ways. And so when we talk about peptides, that can really help you along that journey. But like I said, we're talking about hormones too.
And peptides are not that expensive, are they?
They don't have to be. No, I mean, a lot of times, it depends what clinic you go to, but in generally, no, the investment is worth the return in many ways. And a lot of times, if you work with a peptide specialist, then they're not going to keep you on the same peptide forever. We got to have a rotation. You got to know how to use them to help you achieve the goals you're looking for. And if you just have somebody's like, hey, you know what? I do peptides here. Take this peptide because I heard it's really good for you. Then you may get some results, but not the results like you're looking for. Why? Because I see a lot of people coming to my clinic and I got to fix their mistakes. Like, oh yeah, I was taking this peptide to help lose weight, build muscle, and, you know, sleep better at night. But they're doing it completely wrong. We're taking them all together, and they didn't know the routine and therapy modalities to really help them achieve their goals. And so once we tweak it and customize it for them, then they're off on the right track. So I think if someone came to me and said, hey, I want to have more strength, energy, vitality, lose weight, and build muscle, we had that plan already dialed in.
You have nothing that they can take that would do that without lifting, without working out. Without
working out, I think you got to have a general sense of some kind of movement. I'm not talking about you got to go out there, run a marathon, or join CrossFit.
No, I know, but like you lift weights, that's how you get muscles. Okay? Right. Now the shit you give us, that'll just help.
Absolutely.
It won't give us the muscle. Like I've been alive a long time and I haven't found anything that you can just take and get buff.
No, it's not. It's like I could buy you a new car. I'll fill it up with gas for you. But if you don't drive it, you're never going to go anywhere. So you have the keys. You got to make sure you have that dedication.
You got to work out.
You got to work out. I mean, like I said,
90% of it's working out. Like people will run around and get all the peptides.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, they're fat, blaming the peptides didn't work. And it's because they didn't work.
They didn't have that dedication.
They didn't go in and lift the damn weights.
No.
See, what I do, and again, I haven't done it long enough to get shredded and ripped. I mean, a couple times I did, but that's my problem. I don't do it consistency with long enough persistency. I'm not doing it very long. I do it for, 6 months and I get in shape. I started looking good. I'm like, dang, I look good. I can have a burger now. And you know, next thing you know, I'm looking like, what the hell? I let it slide back.
Right.
So
happens all the time though.
Yeah. But all I did was, you know, lift weights, ate intelligently, you know, but now that I'm getting older, when I hear guys like you, I think, just tell me what to do to stay how I look. I mean, again, 5 years ago, I should have found you because, you know, I ideally look about 5 years ago. I'll stay there until I'm 75 or 95. Imagine that.
Right.
Walking around looking like I do right now, even right now. Cause at 95 right now, I'd look damn good.
Oh, I think anybody would take that.
But dude, I feel good.
Yeah.
In other words, I don't care how somebody looks. They can be wrinkled up because they spent too much time in the sun, but how do they feel?
Right.
I feel like I did when I was 20.
There you go.
Isn't that crazy?
Longer, you live longer and stronger that way. And that's what I mean by when people, like your message and what you're feeling, that's the message to people in the United States and in Western medicine is like, that's impossible. You can't do that. You should not feel the way you feel. Why? Because you're older now. You're not 20. So why should you feel 20? So as we age, the message of medicine that people are receiving is like, oh, sorry, you're older now. You're supposed to feel this way. You're supposed to lose your hair, gain weight, have no libido, have poor sleep at night, hot flashes, night sweats, or whatever. It's like, that's normal. Well, just because something is very common doesn't mean you need to accept it as normal. So that's what we talk about, this strength, energy, you know, anti-aging, if you want to call it, a regenerative medicine, is like, hey, let's customize these routines for each person based on their goals, dreams, what they're looking to achieve, work together as a team to help get you to that destination in a customized way, not a cookie cutter way. And then that is where the magic's made.
You ever do this for like celebs?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's people listening, I guarantee you, going, dude, I want that. Where do they go?
Yeah. So really the number one thing to do would be to call my clinic in McAllen, Texas. And we can definitely, my team can really dial in, you know, learn a little about your history, what you're looking for. Make sure it's a good match. I mean, like I said, I'll be honest with you, some people call us from around the country and they're looking for certain things. It's not a good match. And we want to tell them that, to be upfront. Because
what was your last one that wasn't a good match?
Let's see. It was a guy that he didn't want to, like you said, put forth the effort. He's like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. And the mindset wasn't there. And not that you need to have a perfect mindset to work with me, but it was one of those things where it's like, you know, I can't do it for you. I can't do it for you. Yeah, he was in Dallas and he wasn't, you know, still in Texas, but it was like, I can't do it for you, man. And so we coached him, we talked with him still. We didn't abandon him, but we're like, hey, you know, let's work on a few things first and let's bring you on board because I want you to be successful. When I have people who work with me and they make the time and investment, because it's an investment, you either invest in your health now or you pay for it later, right? So the investment is worth it. And the return, if we're able to put in the work, I will coach you, I will get you there. But we have to have that good relationship, you know, on both sides. So situations like that, I mean, maybe the mindset wasn't there, or they're just looking for, you know, like I said, you know, the miracle pill, you know, one pill fix all. It's like, we don't have that. We don't have that. So things like that. But also most of the time, people know what they're looking for, know what they're getting into. They know the investment and the requirements that it takes to go to the next level. They just need help getting there. They just need help. You know, how do I fuel my system? I want to do this, but you know what? I don't have any energy. It's like, what do I do? Well, you know, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that, you know? And that's what we do to customize each routine for each individual.
So it's not normal to get like tired in the middle of the day. All of a sudden you're just like, you know, yawning and wanting to take a nap.
It's normal. It's very normal. It doesn't have to be though. You don't have to accept it.
So what if somebody isn't in McAllen, Texas? Where do they go?
Well, I do a lot of telemedicine, you know, around the country. So I do see people around the country that I work with.
Do you start with a blood test?
Yeah, we do. We start with their story. I customize the blood test. You know, what are you experiencing? How long have you been experiencing? What have you tried? What haven't you tried? And then I customize those lab tests, because even the lab tests aren't cookie cutter. I got to make sure that, so I might have one person that has a lot of GI issues. I have one person that might be all hormones. I have one person that might have, you know, significant autoimmune issues.
One of them could have a subdural hematoma.
Yeah, they could have one of that too. And so, yeah, you got to make sure that you're not looking at that, because, you know, you got to take care of this, right?
But what if it's a subdural hematoma?
Well, like I said, a situation like that, and more of like a specialty, you know, neurological situation, then yeah, I got to make sure that you have a neurologist on board, possibly, you know, you have some kind of concept and connection with other specialists, because usually it's a team approach for situations like that. But yeah, we have a lot of calls from a lot of different people looking for different things, because I think people, you know, this whole COVID thing over the last few years, I think people are really waking up in many ways and wanting to take charge of their health. And now they're asking questions, because a lot of times the message of medicine was, whatever your doctor says, That's it. They know it all. And that is a complete lie. I mean, the white coat's like some magical superhero cape, and that's a complete lie. So I believe that everyone needs to take charge of their health, you know, and not give that power away. And I want everyone that I talk with, where they talk to me or, you know, on other podcasts I do or whatever, I was like, you know, ask your questions, challenge us, because we're human beings just like you. Challenge us, develop that relationship, because that's how you're gonna get the results. Not saying, okay, well, the doctor said I have headaches and nothing else you can do. Let's take these pills. That's gonna be my life for the rest of my life. You know, you don't need to accept that. But again, that's the message that we're receiving in medicine. And I think there's many reasons why I feel that we're receiving that. And I think that's the way the system's designed, in my opinion, and hence the reason why I practice the way I do and not in conventional medicine anymore.
Well, that's honorable of you, because, you know, as you start to learn some of these doctors, you think, well, are they like in on it? Like, are they trying to get us all sick as well? So we'll come back to their office. Then you think, no, they're doctors. They want to help you. That's why they became doctors, right? There's good people that became doctors.
Absolutely.
And they're there to
100%.
help. Now they go get taught something and then they believe it because they were taught that, and that's all they know. So people automatically trust a doctor, when in reality, you got to ask yourself, well, who taught the doctor?
Exactly. Who's funding the medical system? Who's funding this medical
Well, ultimately,
school?
that's where it leads. Because like,
Exactly.
who taught the doctor? And then they'll be like, well, that doctor. Well, who taught that doctor? And
Exactly.
you start, just trace it back. And then, oh, I see. The people that own the pharmaceutical company trained the doctor that when this symptom is apparent,
There's your pill.
we give this pill and that shot.
Yep.
And ultimately it will solve that nasal drip or whatever the problem is, but it's in a year going to cause them to come back to us and need 5 other things.
Yeah. Reoccurring that revenue. You know,
I know, but that's why I hate taking medicine.
Right.
Or as you call it, conventional medicine. I don't even like aspirin. Why?
Right.
Because I'll bet you anything, we're taking shit that's causing future shit. And it's from the same people who have paid fines up the yin yang for gross violations. And this is what I don't understand about some of these medical companies. They've been found guilty of criminal negligence and fined so much money, and all they have to do is pay the money.
Yep.
What do you mean? Like, if you mess up that bad, I'm pulling your license. You're not allowed to manufacture shit anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You're no longer a pharmaceutical company anymore. You've killed people. You've killed people.
Yeah.
Okay, you're done.
Right.
You're no longer allowed. Next. Then the next one that does it, out of business.
Right.
Instantly, not fined and try harder next time.
Yeah, because you can do it again.
Well, of course you are, because they made $9 trillion and they only got fined $2 billion.
Exactly.
And then they say, well, we fined them $2 billion. Everyone's like, wow, $2 billion.
Yeah.
Not if I made $200 billion.
No.
Go ahead, fine me $20 billion.
Yeah.
If I can make 180 million or billion net.
It's a slap on the hand. Yeah, that's all it is.
It's nothing.
No.
And we're all just cattle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. If I'm able to take away your independence and have you become a dependent, then I'll have a customer for life.
And by the way, I'm not depressed at all. Yeah. I do not commit suicide.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances.
Right. Right. Yeah, me too. So disclaimers here all around. So, but no, you're right. And I think
have you ever heard of Dr. Rashid Buttar?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I could have met him and everything too. My team is actually friends with him. So,
well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but previously, yes.
But it's like, holy moly. Like, he was telling me, they're out to get him. And, sometimes you think, come on. Yeah. Like, there's a big consortium of people out to get you. And then next thing you know, boom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You never know. That's why I always say, look, everyone's going to die. Yeah. Everyone's going to die. So you might as well die with some honor. Right. You know what I'm saying? Die with some freaking honor.
On your feet, not your knees. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, just do the right thing, bro. Like, dude, if I'm like, a company that realizes this shit gives you cancer and we're out selling billions of dollars of it, and I know about it and I still do it, dude, that's unethical shit right there. Yeah. No, I completely agree. And that's the reason why I practice the way I practice, is because I couldn't do that anymore. Ethically, I had these people coming in and just pouring their life out to me, crying, and bring these bags of medications into me and say, hey, help me. I don't even know what I'm taking. I don't even know what this is. Why were they coming to you though? Don't they go to the doctor? This is previously. When I used to practice conventional medicine, that's what happened. I saw what got you into that though? The conventional medicine world, that's what it is. After I graduated school, that's what you go into. Unless you choose not to go in that and decide to practice in a different way, like I'm doing now, then you will go into the conventional realm of medicine. And that's
Really, I thought for a long time that was the only choice because I lived functional. I lived, hey, how do I exercise and eat well and sleep, stress, supplements, peptides and hormones. I was doing that on my own. That's how I lived my life, but I was practicing a different way. And so that battle within me, I was like, you know what, enough's enough. I just can't do this anymore. And then once I came to that decision, I was like, you know what, I'm done. It's been the most freeing, decision I've ever made in my life. Now I get to practice the way I believe, practice the way I live, and we help thousands of people across the country, and it's been remarkable.
Well, help millions right now and tell us 3 hacks to live a more long and prosperous life.
I think you need to sleep. I think sleep is overrated. Not looked at enough. It's underrated in many times. And I think that if we're actually sleeping, because sleep is when we're actually able to repair and regenerate. If we're not sleeping,
my sleep has drastically improved lately.
Really? What'd you do?
The only thing I introduced different is cold plunge.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, game on. Yeah.
You believe in cold plunging?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They say that you don't have to have it, 39 degrees. No, you don't. Colder is not better, yada, yada, yada. I hear all these different camps say the different things. But generally the consensus is, the colder the better. Well, then other people say, no, that's not true. And I'm like, I don't know which one it is. So I dropped mine to 42.
Okay. That's
cold, dog.
That's pretty chilly.
That's cold. Yeah. And that's the only thing I did different. Why do you think cold plunging helps me sleep better?
Well, like I said, it helps release dopamine. When you have that dopamine released in your body, dopamine actually is one of the foundational elements of who we are as human beings. It helps with our mood, our memory, it helps us relax, our stress, cortisol levels, but it actually helps produce testosterone in your body as well. And I'm a huge...
Now, what if you're on testosterone and you start cold plunging? Might they need to adjust your dose?
That's where the customization comes into play. That's where the communication with your practitioner.
Do you prescribe test?
Absolutely.
So are you anti-aging as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to me, that's the future. Like if I'm a doctor right now with conventional medicine, I'd shut down my practice and I'd go get into anti-aging.
Yeah. I mean, anti-aging has been around for a long time. But
everybody wants to stop their aging.
Right.
That's a big business. And if you ever find something kick ass, dude, you're billionaire for sure.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, what we're trying to do as we advance in medicine and advancing these hormones and peptides and things like that, what we're learning about them, it's been absolutely phenomenal in so many different ways. And I think that if we're able to take things to the next level, like you're saying, is like, hey, how can I live longer and stronger when I'm 75? I don't feel like I'm 75, like a lot of 75s are out there. Then that's where the magic's made. And we can do that. That can be achieved. That's what I do every day in my clinic. We achieve that. Does it happen overnight? No. I mean, nothing happens overnight because we're not playing quick fix medicine here. But if we're able to really, again, join your team, guide you along that journey to that destination, we see some phenomenal things and people getting their life back. I mean, anywhere from, hey, I'm able to lose 100 pounds. A guy just lost 100 pounds and he's able to walk his daughter down the aisle for her wedding. That's a huge, huge thing, important. Before he wasn't able to do that. Or like, hey, you know what? A guy's, I'm able to play baseball with my boy now or soccer because I wasn't able to run.
How much did the guy weigh that he couldn't walk his...
He weighed 270. He's a big boy.
So he could have walked his daughter down the aisle.
Well, he had a lot of chronic pain. He had gout. He had arthritis, all the extra weight.
Where does gout come from?
Well, a lot of times gout is an inflammatory factor. You got to check your uric acid. Usually accumulates in the joints in your body to some degree. And a lot of times it's contributed to like, alcohol or, red meat, things like that. I think that's true to a certain point. I don't think that's everything. I think gout can be when you have even liver insufficiency as well, meaning because the liver is like the main filter for your body. And if the liver has any type of congestion or backup into it for whatever reason, these inflammatory factors that need to filter out through your body into your liver and be processed so you can get rid of them is compromised to some level. And when that happens, a lot of times we have these deposits of inflammation, and gout could be one of them.
I keep hearing about that. Oh, you're going to get that too. I'm like, I'm going to get gout one day.
You don't have to, and that's what
I don't.
And that's the message of medicine.
They
you don't have to
they say it's the rich man's disease because it comes from eating steak and lobster and all this.
No, I'm a huge red meat guy. I'm a huge fan of red meat. I'm a huge fan of like the carnivore, mentality. I think fruits and vegetables have a play in it, but I think I think the way we live longer and stronger, and I guess this is my opinion, and it's different for each individual, is to make sure we have protein, those amino acids. I don't believe as a society that we're overweight. A lot of times we're under muscled. So if you want to live longer and stronger, you build that muscle. And however you're able to achieve that.
Well, again, when you say that, like I've never seen any old bodybuilders.
Old bodybuilders, done the right way. I've seen some 60, 70-year-olds.
But they're no longer big, huge.
No, they're lean. They're lean. I mean, you're not talking about like a Ronnie Coleman type situation. No, I'm talking about.
Because I've never seen an old, big bodybuilder.
No.
looking dude.
More like fitness, like you talk about the different divisions within bodybuilding. Yes, more of the leaner individuals.
Well, to get that big, that bodybuilders do, there's steroids involved.
You're crossing the threshold. Yeah, and I agree. That is not good, you know.
Or might not be, because again, I've never seen any old ones. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, dude, do they all die? Like, where are all the old bodybuilders? They just quit. There's one named Lee Labrada. He's not old, but he's probably 50 something, maybe 60. Okay. But Lee Labrada still is in shape, but he's been, his whole life is in shape.
Right.
But he doesn't look like he did when he was freaking a bodybuilder.
No, of course not.
I don't think you can sustain that.
No, you can't. I mean, you'd have to really, I mean, it's a lot of taxing on your heart and your liver and your kidneys.
So how do you have anything that if someone just wanted to repair all the damage they've done?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Peptides like, BPC 157, thymosin alpha 1.
What's an average budget? Like if I said, dude, I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna, figure you better be prepared to spend $1,000 or $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That'd be a great, very.
People like, couple thousand a month. What are you, crazy?
Yeah, but it's not going to be for the rest of your life, though. A lot of times we start in those areas in the beginning,
Yeah, but a couple thousand a month. Are you mad?
Yeah. Yeah, you break it down though, and how much money we're spending on things that really won't help bring us to a greater level of health or even happiness in many ways.
Dude, I mean, if people had a crystal ball and they said, "Hey, give me $2,000 a month, I'll let you live 35 more years with perfect mobility, perfect sight, perfect everything," or don't save your $2,000, and in 21 years you're going to be debilitated.
Yeah.
Guess what? People will be giving you 2 G's a month with a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Best deal they ever made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Problem is people don't necessarily know, hey, guys, peptides are what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm saying it, because I don't know much about peptides, but I have heard about them. I have read about them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call you on them because anti-aging is my deal.
It is. And they complement hormones. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of testosterone, and we got to balance out the progesterone and estrogen, for guys and girls.
They haven't found anything to make the stuff grow yet, though.
Well, maybe.
Why don't you get some peptides to do that? We'll be billionaires.
We'll talk about that. We'll go into business together. So, there's things that we can do to help with the function in many ways. And we talked earlier about hypoxia.
Yeah, but function and size are two different things.
Yeah, I know, but
I keep saying anybody that figures out the size. Like if you really could go in and walk out like that, dude, that whoever figures that out's trillionaires.
Yeah. Instant.
Because everybody, is probably in their mind deficient. Not everybody, but most.
Sure. Which
makes no sense. Makes no sense, because if most are the same, then what's the difference?
I don't know.
What do you do?
Mindset and preference. Yeah.
Open up a clinic for that?
Yeah, probably.
Do you have a division for that?
No, not yet. But maybe now the wheels are spinning. So maybe.
Dude, I just tell you what sells. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The peptide, I forget what's called. Let's call it Ozempic. That's not a peptide.
Sure. GLP-1 semaglutide.
That. Yeah. Oh, semaglutide. That's what I was trying to say, but it's called semaglutide.
Semaglutide. Like I said.
Yeah. How popular is that right now?
Very popular. That's the hot one. But the thing about that one is it's been around for a long time. I've been using that for over 4 years.
Does it make you lose?
It does. It does. A lot of times there's some misconception about it as well. They call it the skinny shot. They're calling it. But if done the right way, then. So the controversy is, you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass. And if done the wrong way, yes, you will. And that's why we got to make sure that, again, you have the strength training on board, that you're not, because it's going to curb your appetite. It's going to make you less hungry. So as long as we don't cross that threshold, it's like, okay, I'm not eating at all. Well, yeah, you're going to lose money. You're going to go into a catabolic state. And so if we're able to customize that,
but wouldn't it eat all the fat before it hits the muscle?
Simultaneously, it's not. I mean, when people lose, say, 25 pounds, if done the wrong way, you can lose a significant amount of muscle mass along with it.
That'd be a shame too, because it's hard to get back.
Exactly, and that's why it's very important. Like so where I'm at, I live on the U.S.-Mexican border in McAllen, Texas, and people are going to Mexico buying this stuff, injecting it because they see it on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. And then they're like, oh my gosh, now I'm not doing so well because they have, A, B, C symptoms or whatever, complications. And that's why with everything, peptides and hormones and bioregulators, whatever we're talking about, stem cells, even exosomes, things like that, make sure you're with a clinician who knows what they're doing, because then you won't experience the complications that you're hearing about in society, because it doesn't have to happen if you know what you're doing. And again, we use it all the time. We have phenomenal results of before and after pictures of people who have really benefited from in a certain way for a certain amount of of time, then we rotate, then we customize the diet and the exercise and the hormone balance and, different things like that to make sure they're reaching their goals. And that's what it's all about.
Sleep. What's the second one?
So I think that, diet has to be in there as well, because these are the foundations. If we just start the foundations, then everything else kind of fits into place. So I think diet is one of the most important things, because what we put in is what we get out. So food needs to be our medicine, but like I said, it could also be our poison. It needs to be the information.
Well, here in America, it seems to be a lot of
oh my
poison.
Gosh, yeah, don't even get me started. We could have a whole conversation
so,
about that.
I don't understand why it continues to be that way.
I think it's
nobody wants to eat red number 5. Nobody wants to eat all the shit that's in this food.
Yeah,
my question is who is allowing it to be in the food? I
think the higher ups. I think that there's a lot of influential people out there that have a lot of money that want to keep us sick in many ways, because the sicker we are, the more money they make. Whoever they is, you can use your imagination. But I think that's the way the model of medicine has really gone over, expedited over the last few years. But it's been going on for a long time. Yeah. This isn't new. I mean, it's been going on since ever since penicillin hit the market. way back then. So it's one of those things that I think we're talking about it more because people are becoming more aware of it, but really nothing's really changed, over the last 50, 60 years. It's the model of medicine that we've adopted in the United States. And anybody who goes against that grain and goes against that model, a lot of times is called a quack, an outlier, a hippie, a lunatic, or whatever. And I've been called all those as well. But when I really get down to have a conversation with somebody, it's like, look, dude, yeah, I practice functional medicine, but it's not like, herbs and potions and tinctures and, these different types of oils and whatever. It's like, hey, we're talking about helping you achieve cellular efficiency by the way we're created and the way we're able to function and live as a human being. And once I have a conversation with that individual who's really kind of just, busting my balls in many ways, they're like, oh, okay, well, and the most common thing I hear is like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I was like, well, yeah, because you're not trained to think of it that way. You're trained to react and respond instead of using your logic to say, what am I doing? Is this really helping the symptom, or is this actually healing the system? And that's the thing that we got to really figure out as individuals, as a medical society, because again, we are living longer, but I believe we're sicker and aging quicker.
And then what's the third one?
Third one, I think it has to be a hormone balance. I'm a huge fan of hormones. I think hormones, these communication molecules in your body, can really help you just get the energy and vitality back into your life. And a lot of times hormones for men and women are talked about as dangerous, and they're going to cause cancer. They're going to do all these harmful things to you. But you got to remember that hormones keep us alive in many ways. And I think that if we're able to really get these optimized to not just normal levels, but optimal levels. Because this is a situation I see all the time. A guy comes into me and sees me and he's like, okay, I have weight gain, low libido, I'm losing my muscle mass, mental fog, can't sleep at night, I can't play with my kids, I'm fighting with my wife all the time, I'm stressed out, I have no energy or whatever. He goes to his, practitioner, non-functional practitioner who doesn't specialize in hormone therapy. He gets his testosterone checked because they're identified these symptoms in correlation with testosterone. So he comes back 2 weeks later, gets his labs done, talks about the results. Oh, Mr. Johnson, you have a testosterone of a 234. You're normal. And the thing about that situation is the clinician is not lying. It is normal. But what they're failing to explain a lot of the times, not all the time, but a lot of times, is the range is from 200 to 1100. So yeah, you're normal at a 234, but it's like passing your math test with a D-. It's like you pass the test, but you have a lot of room for improvement. So if I'm able to optimize that individual to say a 1034, well, a 1034 is within the normal range as well, but you don't feel the same. Your world difference.
Maybe that's why I feel good.
Probably why you feel good. Yeah. Because you're optimal, not just normal. So I mean, like, and that's what I mean by age versus energy. Like my book is like, I believe that no matter what age you are, if you know what you're doing, who to talk to, and how to customize routines in a clean, natural, functional way, you can have that cellular efficiency and communication to get your life back the way you want. It might take some time, effort, dedication, and investment on your part, but that's with anything in life.
Hey, you drop stuff like this on your social media?
I do. Yeah, a lot of little videos and teaching points, and things I try to do to give value to people who are wanting help.
What's BYOE Health?
BYOE Health, that stands for Build Your Own Economy. So that is a company that was designed by one of my good buddies, David A. Bettis. He's also in South Texas. And that was like an entrepreneur business program that he really reached out to people around the country, helping entrepreneurs take things to the next level. And so he approached me because we're good buddies, one of my best friends, and we've been working together. And so he's like, you know what, let's add in a health aspect to it. Let's add a health division to it. So BYOE Health is a company that we designed together that is a concierge medical division that we see people all over the country, but we focus on certain things, like strength, energy, weight loss, and muscle building. Those are the 4 areas we achieve.
Those are good ones.
And we focus on. So, because when we achieve those areas, a lot of times the domino effect leads into other areas that they're looking to overcome and improve on. So, man, we've been having some awesome stories and people's lives are being changed. So if people are interested, it's byoehealth.com. And like I said, people from around the country can call and to send us a message and to really, again, engage in their health, build that relationship, and that's what we found to really work by not just sending you off on your own, but to help you take back that power that you've a lot of times given away to the medical industry, to take that back and take charge of your health so you're actually independent along your journey and not dependent on me, pills, or anybody else telling you what to do. But you can make that educated decision so you can get your life back the way you want.
Boom. There you go, folks. Dude, go follow this cat at steve.martinez.pac.
PAC, yeah.
At steve.martinez.pac. Go to restorergv.com or Groove Health Wellness. No E in the groove.
No E in the groove.
GROOV.
Yep.
GrooveHealthWellness.com. Appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You got a lovely family.
Thank you. Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
And hopefully we can talk offline and get some anti-aging stuff going.
Let's learn about your dreams and goals. We'll get you there, man.
All right, man. Hey, until next time, keep healthy, keep it real.
I look up to you. How come you're not the family guy you want to be? How come you're not the leader that you want to be? How come you're not the employer that you want to be? How come? And guess what people do? Oh, I don't want to face all that fucking reality. So let me just sit here and say, Brad's full of shit. This is fucking stupid.